Lagos, Nigeria is silently building one of Africa's most competent metro lines. Here's an unbelievable breakdown of the Lagos Blue and Red lines, linking the island to the mainland and the mainland to Ogun State. Lagos opened its first line, the Blue Line, in 2023, and the Blue Line was more than a decade in the making. It originally started during Governor Fashola's term, but unfortunately, due to delays and cost overruns, it didn't open until 2023. The Blue Line is currently undergoing expansion, and there's currently construction being done to expand it towards Lasu and Okokomaiko, while the Red Line is a 27-kilometer long line linking Agbado in Ogun State to Oyingbo around Yaba. The Red Line shares existing infrastructure with the National Rail Network, and it was opened in 2024. The cabins are a little interesting and unusual for intracity operation. Here is my experience on both train systems. You might have noticed by now, but both train lines have very different looking train cars. One of them looks like the stereotypical metro lines we see in major cities like Shanghai, New York and London, while the other looks like something that could be operating from one city or one country to another. The Blue Line uses the CRCC Dalian Type B electric train gotten from the Tianjin line in China. It has plasticky chairs, which is not a bad thing, but it feels very solid. There was onboard entertainment, and the standing space looks wide, and I feel like somebody can stand in front of you without you being feeling too close. While the Red Line uses Talgo intra-city 10-coach metropolitan trains gotten from the US state of Wisconsin. It has an unusual design for metro cabins. It feels darker, and it doesn't feel like it was designed for operations within cities. But according to my research, I learned that it's also very fast, one of the fastest cabins in Africa right now. As mentioned earlier, the Blue Line has more of a storied history than the Red Line. As far back as 2008, plans for a rail line connecting Lasu, Okokomaiko to Marina had been in place, and the project actually started during former Governor Fashola's term. With an original budget of 70 billion naira, then it has ballooned into over $135 million artificial rates. Plans changed and rescaled a few times, but it's better late than never. Meanwhile, the Red Line construction commenced in 2021. There wasn't really much to do comparatively because the tracks were already laid and upgraded for the standard gauge national rail line. So this line shares the rail with it. All that needed to be built were separate train stations and supporting infrastructures. It was inaugurated in February 2024 and commenced operations in October 2024. This is the best way for people living in Ogun State to commute in and out of the city for work. While on board the Blue Line, I could not help but feel like I had been transported to a different country. I know this is not exactly the nicest thing to say about your country. We're not used to having nice things in this Nigeria, but I was genuinely dumbfounded. I'm not one to feed into hype, I'm not one to believe in hype, but that day I really saw that if we put in the effort as a country and the people in power, we really can have nice things for ourselves, and we really can improve the standard of living for everyday Nigeria. Meanwhile, on my experience on the Red Line, it was a bit hard to figure out how to get into the train stations because of the way it was built. But when I got it, it still looked very incomplete. Not very, but some parts of it were incomplete, like the accessibility elevators and all. But that being said, I'm sure in the future they would be complete, because when I took the ride, it was less than a week or about a week after commencement of operation. So a time might come where you'll be on a great experience across the Red Line. Who knows? But my experience was great, man. Why haven't you subscribed? You're obviously enjoying this video and you've gotten a bit of value. Please help your boy. Click the subscribe button and give this video a like. But I'm sure you will remember a time when Lagos was characterized by people sitting on top of trains, people doing businesses on train tracks. It was just a mess, and for us to go from that to this in as long a time as it took us, I would say it's better late than never. But the history of Lagos Rail is not one that is really palatable. but if we look at where we're coming from, I'm sure we cherish what we have right now, especially with the red line and the blue line. And looking at the fact that the blue line is electrified, I'm really scared that people would wander and lose their life, or people would try to steal the components on the train tracks. You know how we unfortunately do in this part of the country or this part of the world. But that being said, I love how far we've come, and I'm excited for what the future holds, no matter how long it takes and how much they steal. I just want to see it done. As mentioned earlier, the blue line is currently 13 kilometers long, but the plan is for it to grow to 27 kilometers in the next few years. That means it will connect Okukumaiko, Lasso area to Marina. But for now, there are 5 stations on this network. We have the Marina station, then the National Theatre station, and Igomu station. From the Igomu to the Marina quadrant, it is elevated because it goes across or alongside the Lagos Lagoon. After Igomu station, you have Alabasuru station and then Maitu station, which is the first or the last, depending on where you get on right now. It currently takes 18 minutes to travel across the network, and there's a train every 18 minutes from 6 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. I think Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday, I might be wrong. The blue line has gotten more than a year to get its network right, and I feel like it has gotten scheduling down to a bit of a science. On the other hand, we have the Lagos red line that is currently 27 kilometers long. There are plans to extend it from Oyingbo to meet up with the blue line in Marina, but for now it's 27 kilometers long, and there are 8 stations on this network. From north to south, we have the Agbado station in Ogun State, then we have Ijo station in Lagos, Agege station, Ikeja station, which is a major station, and there are plans to extend the line from Ikeja towards the airport to make it easier for people traveling and walking in and around the airport. After the Ikeja station, we have the Oshodi station, then the Mushin station, Yaba station, and Oyingbo station. Unfortunately, scheduling is still a bit of an issue, maybe due to the number of train cabins they have on ground, but it only operates during peak hours in the morning and evening, as at the time it launched. But you might be watching this video at a time where there are multiple trains a day, who knows, and I hope that's the case. I'm always rooting for the network. By the way, click the subscribe button and smash that like button, please. Talking about my personal experience on both systems, I don't want you to see this video as a comparison. It is by no means a comparison. Both lines serve different purposes and are built differently. I experienced the blue line with my friend Revi. Revi, the creator, is also a YouTuber, and you can watch the video from our POV. Our YouTube channel is linked to this video. The experience was new and it was very much welcomed by me. I was dumbfounded because, like I said, I'm not really used to nice things in this country, and I just couldn't believe that this was in Lagos. The modern system is something I feel like can compete internationally. I'm not giving this a score because it's not a competition, but I really enjoyed my experience on the blue line. And on our way back, we decided to stop at the National Theatre train station, and it was also something to celebrate because the National Theatre was recently renovated at that time, so it just felt like this place that was a major site of my childhood has now come back to life. So 10 out of 10 experience, in my opinion. My experience on the Lagos red line was different but also similar to the blue line. It started off a bit rough because the way the train stations were built, it is very hard to figure out the entrance to these train stations. I eventually figured it out with like 2 minutes left until the train arrived. Apparently, the train station entrance was at the other side of the road, so you needed to go to the other side of the road, climb a pedestrian bridge, and then find your way there. There have been improvements to the Lagos corridor of the Lagos Kano rail, and that it was nice if you ask me. But the only problem I had was the lack of toilets. I tried to use the toilets at Agbado and they were like, there are no toilets. So I don't know if this was a lie or it was just an Agbado issue. That's Agbado station, or it was just built that way. But that being said, the best part of this experience was the amazing staff I met. Everybody I met that worked there was more than willing to help me. A worker took me across the line to where I could tap in and tap out again because I was going back on the same train I came in. 10 out of 10 customer experience. Once again, please subscribe to the channel and you can find more videos that like this that I'm sure you would enjoy. That being said, looking at the future, I see an expansion of the Lagos Red Line schedule. Additionally, I am worried about what is gonna happen when future right-of-way issues happened in the case of expansion of the Lagos Red Line schedule. What is gonna happen if other trains are coming on the Lagos-Ibadan line? Are they gonna have to give way? Are they gonna have to walk around that? Who knows? The prices as at November 2024 was capped at 1,500 for the Agbado to Ingbo line on the red line, while for the blue line it was 750 naira. So it's both cheap and expensive, if you know what I mean, looking at the Nigerian context. But that being said, they have promised us the green line connecting Marina to Ibejileki. I hope we get to see it during our lifetimes. Until the next video, I remain your YouTube friend, and I'm wishing you love, peace and prosperity.